Hello and welcome to this course on Power BI beginner class. For those who don't have any knowledge on BI or Power BI, you are absolutely on the right track because we are going to do step by step starting from scratch. We are going to build a Power BI report using data extracted from Excel file. Our source file looks like this, nice and simple, and from time to time we will add in new data points because we are going to learn starting from the basic. Once we have loaded this source into Power BI, we will create some simple visuals to begin with. And the goal for us as a business analyst or BI developer is to create insights for our clients and to understand their customer purchasing behavior so that our clients are able to leverage the insight generated from the visuals and to make a wise decisions or a quick move before the business starts to get more and more decline. Okay? First of all, we are going to learn how to load in our data source into Power BI. Then we will look into how to create visuals. Next, we are going to look into Power Query to do some of the transformation required to get through some of the requirements in the report. And we are going to look into Power BI data model to set up the data linkage between tables. Okay? And at the end of the course, we will come out with a dashboard that looks like this. Alright? So don't get intimidated by these fancy visuals here because we are going to build this together and we are going to have a high level understanding on how Power BI works, and we will go into details by details on each of the module. Alright? So don't get too worried because we're gonna guide you step by step in each of the module. And yep, I hope you enjoy this course with me, and let's begin our journey. Alright guys, today we are going through the content of the course. First of all, let's kickstart the course by introducing the fundamental of BI. Next, we will get to know how to download Power BI, and we will have a brief introduction to BI. We will continue with the rest in this list, moving on to the following module. We will be learning how to load data into Power BI and transform the data loaded using Power Query. Then we will begin to build our first dashboard and get to know some of the common visuals that are used in Power BI. After creating our first dashboard, we will get to learn how to create new measures. Next, we will learn how to perform sorting in Power BI. Slice and dice is an important feature in BI environment, and this will be covered right after we learn how to perform sorting in Power BI. Not to forget that a calendar table is very important as well to give us the flexibility on using time intelligent DAX expressions on our Power BI report. We will also be exposed on how to create buttons for navigation, and lastly, we will get to know the usage of bookmarks in Power BI. Okay? Hope you find this content interesting, and I'll see you in the next module. Thanks and bye bye. Alright guys, welcome back to this learning module. So, the complete terminology of BI is actually business intelligence. Okay, what is business intelligence all about? First of all, we are dealing with business. Any kind of business, either it is a profitable or non-profitable organizations. Next, how do we relate intelligence with business? First of all, we are going to collect all kinds of data that is available in the business, and we analyze the data provided to showcase some of the possible actions or decision making to improve the performance or revenue of the business. And yep, this is the general idea of what business intelligence is all about. So our job is to extract our client's data either from database or other structured file format tables. Okay? In this course, we will be using Microsoft Excel as our data files. Okay? Once we have extracted all the related data files, we need to transform this table into a generalized table format so that we can analyze the data with Power BI visual objects. Okay? Some client might have their requirements on the dashboard, but if your client is new towards BI, you might need to recommend some of the visual objects that can showcase insights or visual objects that can help your client in making decisions to improve their revenue. Okay? And yep, that's all on the introduction on BI. Thanks for watching this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next module. Thanks and bye bye. Hello and welcome back to this learning module. So today we're going to talk about how do we install our Power BI desktop. Alright. So to get started with Power BI, click on the link in this slide here, which will be attached in the downloadable section. Okay, so once you have entered this page here, click on products, then we select Power BI desktop, and once we are in, click on the yellow download free button here, and a window will pop out. Select open with Microsoft Store. Okay, once Microsoft Store is open, click on the download button. Okay, so for me is showing launch because I have installed Power BI desktop in my PC. Okay, then your download should begin shortly. Alright, and that's all on the installation of Power BI, and I'll see you in the next module. Thanks and bye bye. Now if you are interested to know more about analytics, you can subscribe my YouTube channel where I will be sharing more info about analytics. Alright, so subscribe my channel here so that you can get more info about analytics. Alright, so yep, once again, thanks for enrolling into this course, and I hope to see you in my YouTube channel. Alright, so yep, that's all for today. Thanks and bye bye. Alright guys, welcome back to this learning module on how to load data with Power BI. Okay, so in the top panel, let's go to Home tab. Let's select on Get Data. Alright, let's click on this Get Data drop down here, and we're gonna select on Excel here. Alright, because our data source is in Excel file. Alright, let's click on the Excel file here, and let's go to the file path where you have stored the data source. Alright, now let's click on Open. So now we can see there is two sheets here. Let's load in sheet 2 here. Alright, click on sheet 2 and we're going to click on the load button. Alright, now we can see at this preview window here, our headers has been labeled as the table columns. Okay, so this is very good. This is what we want, and this looks perfect, right? So let's load our data. Click on the load button here. Alright, once we hit on the load button, we are back to our Power BI desktop layout. Alright, now let's hit on the refresh again to load in our data, because just now it's just loading a connection. Now we are going to load in the data into Power BI. Alright, so we can check the data that we have loaded in by clicking on this data at the left panel here. Okay, let's go to sheet 2 here, and yep, this is all the table that has been loaded into Power BI. Right here we can see there's duplicates here. Let's go to the table and right mouse click on it, and we delete the whole table here. Alright, let's just remove the whole table here, and we can see our table has been loaded in accordingly. Now for this calendar table here, don't worry about this. We are going to guide you step by step on how to create calendar table. And we are going to learn about what is the usage of a calendar table. Alright, so that's all for today. Thanks for watching this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next module. Thanks and bye bye. Alright guys, welcome back to this learning module on how to create our first dashboard. Today we are going to cover 3 kinds of visuals in Power BI dashboard. Okay, we are going to talk about how to create slices, how to create cards, and also how to create a donut chart. Alright, let's begin by creating a slicer. Alright, let's go to this visualization tab here, and let's go to slicer. Let's click on it, and we can see there's a visual that has been created at our report here. Alright, let's go to the fields at the very right toolbox navigator. Let's go to sheet, and we are going to check on the product, and we can see that our slicer has been added into our page here. Alright, so let's resize our slicer a little smaller. Now the next visual we are going to create is a card visual. Okay, so now in the visualization toolbox here, go to the card object and click on it. Okay, sorry, let's undo this by selecting Ctrl and Z button. We are going to click on the page first. Okay, because right now we are actually selecting on the slicer option here. Okay, and if we click on the card visual, this slicer will be replaced with the card visual. Okay, so let's click on the page here so that we are now referencing on the page. Okay, now let's select on the card, let's click on it, and a card visual has been added into our page. Alright, now we are going to drag in our sum of total value into our card visual. Let's check on the value box, and we can see our card is filled with the selected measure. Let's add in some formattings to this KPI box here. Let's go to the format tab, click on the format card here, and let's go to format. Okay, next let's place a title for our KPI box. Let's turn on the title, and there's a drop down here. Let's click on it. Now we can add in the title text right here. Let's add in total sales. Alright, next let's move our text title to the center. Okay, let's align it to the center. Alright, let's collapse the title drop down, and let's go to our background. Now we can also change the background color here. Let's select blue color. Alright, so our background color has been changed. We can add in the border color as well. Okay, let's switch our border on, and let's go to the drop down here for the color. Let's select dark blue color. Alright. Now let's click on the page here, and we can see our border has been added into the KPI box. Okay. Now for this KPI box here, our title needs to be a little larger because this is the grand total for our sales. Alright. So let's have this KPI box a little bit more bigger. Let's click on this KPI box here and let's go to formatting. Let's go to our title, and we are going to increase our title with a little more extra font size. Okay. So this looks good here. We don't need the measure label here. Okay, because we already have a title, so we can turn off our category label here. Alright, let's turn it off, and yep, this looks good. Alright, now for our donut chart, we can add in our products here, and then we can go by our sum of value. Okay, so this will be reading sum of our sales by product. Okay, let's place in right beside the total sales card box. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's move this over. Okay. For the KPI box, we also can make it bigger, but we don't need to make it too big so that we can get a view that is comfortable for our eyes, right? Let's just give this a little bit more space on top. Okay. Let's give this a little bit margin here. Alright. And yep, this looks great. Let's give the donut chart a little bit of margin. Alright. So now we can see if we didn't select on our products, this will actually give us the sum of our total sales by all of our products. And yep, that's all for the lesson for today. Thanks for watching this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next module. Thanks and bye bye. Alright guys, welcome back to this learning module. Today we're gonna learn how do we create a table object and a bar visual. Okay, let's go to the visualization panel and we click on this table object. Alright, now we can see a table has been added into our page here. Now let's expand this a little larger. Okay, let's make this a little larger here. Okay, just like this. Let's go to sheet 2 here. Let's hit on the drop down here. Okay, now let's check on the product here to add the product as a dimension into our table visual. Let's check on this. Next, let's check on our value checkbox here. Alright, let's check on this, and yep, we have the table created on our page. Alright, we can also add the date column into the table. Let's check on this, and we are going to move the date to the very top as the first dimension. Alright, so yep, this is our table. Alright, next we can format our table, and we are going to add in a title for our table. Alright, let's enable the title and let's expand the options, and we are going to enter our title text here. Alright, let's add in table details here. Alright, and yeah, our title is up. Alright, now if we don't want to have the total at the bottom of the table, we don't want the value within the table to be aggregated together, what we can do is we can go to the fields here and we click on this drop down here. Alright, let's select don't summarize. Alright, this will actually return a table without the total at the bottom of the table. Alright, so this is our table. Next, we are going to create our bar chart. Alright, let's create a cluster column chart. Alright, let's click on it. I'm going to add in our dates into our visual. and we are going to add in the sum of value as the measure to our visual. Alright, so this will give us the total sales by date. Alright, so let's explain this a little bit. Now we can see our bar visual with all the month and year within the visual. Alright, let's name our visual with a proper title. Alright, let's call this as our sales trend. Alright, and yeah, we have created our first dashboard. Alright, and yeah, that's all for the lesson today. Thanks for watching this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next module. Thanks and bye bye. Hello and welcome back to this learning module. Today we're going to introduce you how to create measures in Power BI. So, what are measures? Measures are used when we are computing an aggregated value. Either it is a sum, it is an average, or a divide, and so on. In the next demo, we're gonna show you the difference between sum and SUMX functions. So as we can see in this table, both measures are returning different values. If we look carefully on the values in each of the rows, they are actually returning the same values. Just that when it is aggregating, to calculate the grand total for the table, the SUMX function seems to return a value that is more logical if we compare with the sum function. This is interesting, right? Just a little difference in the function and the result are way different. So let's find out the answer in the next demo. Alright guys, welcome back to this learning module. In this demo, we are going to demonstrate the difference between the sum and SUMX function. Let's investigate the difference in Excel. Basically, using a sum function, we'll sum up all the values in the column, then multiply with the sum of the total discount. Alright, let's replicate this logic, and we are going to add up or this value here, which will give us 3411. Alright, next let's multiply with our sum of the discount column. Alright, now let's add in 1 minus here because we are interested in the percentage after deducting the discount given to our customer. Alright, let's do this, and the result return in a negative value. Alright, let's replicate the same logic using the SUMX function. For the SUMX function, this will iterate for every single line so that the measure will capture the value that has been multiplied with the balance of the discount in percentage for each of the line. Alright, let's try it out. We are going to get the value and multiply with 1 minus the discount column. Alright, let's hit on enter, and we are going to drag this downwards. Alright, lastly, the SUMX logic will sum up all these values here after the iteration has completed to compute the grand total in the column. So using the SUMX function is what we want if we want to iterate the sum logic for every single line so that our grand total is returning the correct value. And yep, that's all for the logic explanation, and we are going to replicate this logic in Power BI desktop measures. Thanks for watching this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next module. Thanks and bye bye. Alright guys, welcome back to this learning module. Now let's continue to create our sum and sum x measures. Alright, before we begin the demo, let's click on our sheet 2 table here and let's create a new measure. Let's try to sum our discount column. Alright, let's call this total discount here. Okay, and we're gonna say sum of our discount column. Let's try a simple one and see if it's work. Alright, now let's drag this total discount into our table. Let's click on the table and we click on our total discount column. Alright, something is not right. Let's check on the error. Alright, let's click on see details, and it says the function sum cannot work with values of type string. Alright, let's try to remove our total discount column, and we notice that the value of the discount column is actually placed on the left. Alright, this is something weird. Take a look at the value for this column. Value here is actually placed on the right. So for the column which has value placed on the right is actually referred as a numbers column. Alright, so our discount column is written as a text data type. So we need to update our data type for our discount column here. Alright, so let's click on transform data and we go to our discount column here. Let's right click on the header and we click on change type here. Let's change it to a decimal number. Alright, so we can see here this is actually in decimal. Alright, and for our value column this is actually in number formatting. For our product is a text column. Alright, and our date is in date format. Alright, let's click on close and apply, and we notice that our discount column has been placed to the right in the table. Alright, now let's try to drag our total discount column into the table, and yep, it works. Alright, so yep, so today we have actually learned that for columns that is placed on the left is actually a text column, and the column that is placed on the right is actually a numbers format column. Alright, so please take note of all these little details here, because if we did not take note of this when we are creating our measures, we will run into a similar issue like this. Alright, so that's all for today, and in the next module we are going straight into creating the sum and sum x measures. Alright, thanks and bye bye. Alright guys, welcome back to this learning module. So let's start off by removing our total this column. Alright, so we are not going to require this total discount here. Just make sure that we have already clicked on the table here and we uncheck this total discount here. Alright, let's create a new measure. Let's start off by creating our sum value measure. Alright, I'm going to put an equal sign here, and we're going to call our sum function out, and we put in value, and then we close our brackets and we add in a multiply. We're gonna multiply with our sum of discount. Alright, let's close our parentheses here, and remember that we actually want to get the percentage after deducting our discount. Alright, so we're gonna add in our 1 minus in front of the sum of discount here. Now let's hit on enter and we place our sum of value inside our table here. Alright, let's just check on this, and we get our sum of value here. Alright, now we're gonna add in we're gonna create a new measure, and we call this as the SUMX value. Alright, so now we are going to use this SUMX function here. Alright, just type in the word sum, then the SUMX function will be shown. Alright, now we just type in the word SUMX here, and then we can see this DAX here is actually referring to a table. Alright, so the first parameter is a table. We're gonna put in our table. Let's put in sheet 2. Alright, and then the expression that we want to evaluate is our sheet 2 value, right? Sheet 2 value, and multiply by our discount. Alright, let's search for the discount column here. Alright, and then make sure we close our parentheses well, and remember to add in our one minus in front of our discount column. Let's hit on enter, and now we're gonna bring in our SUMX value into our table. Alright, let's make this bar chart a little bit smaller so that we can have a complete view of our measures inside our table. Alright, everything looks similar except for the total here, right? So this is the difference between using the SUMX and the sum function here. If you want to iterate this sum for each of the line, please remember to use a sum x here, because x refers to iteration. Alright, and that's all for today. Thanks and bye bye.